Graham Kagali, to expound some more on what he's done for his people down there at the level of the ward. Yes, we've been doing lots of wards this time, just because we know very well that the MCAs are right at the core and the heart of devolution and right next to the people. And that's the reason why this evening we are again having an MCA who's going to tell us whether indeed he's been able to successfully do so much for the ward, or there's still so much and he would probably request for more time, as many would do. Tafadhali nipatie another chance so I'm able to finish what I started. Good evening, Mheshimiwa.
Good evening, Linda.
You're well?
I'm very well.
Good to have you this evening. Good to have you this evening.
Thank you so much.
Sasa wewe kufikia hapa, I'd want to know, are you amongst the many who are wishing that they would get some more time so they can finish what they started?
I'm amongst the many. If I can say amongst the thousands who really want to have more time.
Why? Why would you want to have more time? Why is it that you've not been able to achieve the promises or what it is that you feel you need to achieve for your people within this time that you've been given?
Number one, Linda, since we were elected in 2017, August, you remember we had issues with no reforms, no elections, and we went up to January 2018. There wasn't much that we can say we did for the first 8 or so months. That's basically a whole financial year.
Yes.
That went to the drain.
Mm-hmm. But money was still coming. But money was still trickling down.
Yes, Linda. But you know, most of these things, being that some of us are the first timers, we needed to, that orientation needed to be there, that familiarization and the way to. And you know, unfortunately, most of, let me say, the MCS don't have a direct basket, financial basket that they can dictate or decide what to do. So in the process, it actually took some time before we actually do any meaningful development until 2019. And you remember there was also a problem with Kenyan financial issues also.
All right. Okay. So again, there'll be that talk of COVID-19 is here with us. And again, of course, we're going to lose a financial year. But still, money is coming down to the counties. Still, money is coming down to the wards. So if today you're told to account for all these monies, in as much as not so much has been done, would you comfortably and confidently do that?
Yes, I will. I'll be comfortable with that. We can actually explain a bit what the thing has done here as a county. Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's interesting, and that's the reason why we have you this evening. We need to know how much it is that you've done for your people, and you came out with lots of promises, saying that you need to reach out to the people. You want to ensure that you build a strong, South Kanyamkago. You want to ensure that it's all about kazi. I've seen some of your hashtags making rounds on social media. Yeah, tumeamua ni kazi tu hapa South. South ni kazi tu. Do you suppose that you've done what you term as justice, looking at all these hiccups that have been happening to your people?
So far, if I'm to rate myself, I'll give myself a seaplane. Yeah. And a seaplane is average. I can't say that we've done so much because of challenges here and there. Number two, we've also had issues with the policy issues, and especially this comes from executive. And I think that is why most of us are happy with the PPI, because we are now seeing hope that devolution will properly go to the ground and effectively help them. So I can say I've not done badly and I've not done very well. I'll be in with.
All right. Okay. Well, that's interesting. So that means then your people should be listening to you, and they need to add you some more days. Well, that aside, but at least we need to know what it is that you've done in terms of the promises that you had made during your manifesto. During the presentation of your manifesto, you had promised to touch on so much. So education, water, roads, youths, women, and all these people. Would you, in a nutshell, or briefly, tell us what are some of the key things that you have achieved today, so that we start going step by step in terms of these promises that you made?
One, I want to start off with roads. One of the major milestones is that at South, we didn't have access roads. I can say we've fairly well in terms of opening up new areas, the areas that were completely shut. The public could not access the homes, they could access basic services with the water. But as we speak, we've done road opening. These road openings have enabled the local mamambogas and the businessmen to open the market. Our others in the border industry, I can say they are now better off compared to before, because they can pick and drop their passengers without accident. So, but still, more needs to be done, because the other areas, the major areas that are stumbling block, we've done something. And when I go to we are still actually ongoing. Right now we are doing 5 roads. That is me and opening. At speak, we delayed because of the heavy rain that we experienced previously.
Are we talking about tarmac roads, or we are talking about just trying to maintain the roads that are there, even if they're rough road? Or rough road?
They're actually rough. We are maintaining them. We are hopeful that the contract that is sponsored by the World Bank will support some extra access with tarmac to schools. But the construction is ongoing. We had an arrangement to have some of the schools accessed to the tarmac road. So we are hopeful that in some parts at South Kanyamkago they will benefit from tarmac road.
All right. Some have argued that probably some things that you've been doing, and I think we'll be mentioning them as we continue, as we proceed, the likes on matters roads, the likes on matters education, like you've gone an extra mile. You have done so much, something that is not within your jurisdiction, maybe, so to speak. Some of these things that you touch on are things that are supposed to be worked on by members of parliament, and some of them with governors. But you've gone an extra mile as a member of county assembly. So then the question would be, yes, that is good leadership, but we need to get accountability. We need to understand, how are you able to do this with the budget that you get for the county assembly, or for the ward? And does it mean then that if you're doing all this, there are other things, or the role that the money is supposed to play is not doing it as expected?
One, we've had will from some development partners, and I want to thank some of my friends who work with Kera and the other, and Kura, who have been very good, very good, and they have actually assisted in making sure that we get an extra one or two things for us. So I have to actually say thank you for that. And it doesn't mean that that one has strained resources for the national, or strained resources for the county, because some things are done out of goodwill, and it is that good rapport that has helped us. We have also had very good working relationship with the Chinese, who are also doing the main highway, McGorry Highway, and they have actually also promised to handle some of our roads out of goodwill, just having an extra mile, and also the social responsibility. So it's not necessary to me that we touch on resources. It's just about partnering here and there.
There's been, and when you talk about partnering, it's key. And I know that yes, there are leaders who partner with people, stakeholders from different sectors, and that is of the benefit for the people. But a lot of questions then arise. I don't know whether you've seen what plays out in Nairobi. The conflict of interest of Mike Sonko, the Sonko rescue team, and conflict of interest on how some leaders would want to use their own foundations to work for the same of the people. Then such has also occurred in a place like Kiambu, where the member of parliament, he's so much into goodwill and so much into foundations that he has, that sometimes when they come into work, there's a bit of confusion on whether, you know, this is money coming from the constituency, this is money coming from the ward or from the kitty of the ward, money coming from the pocket, and then in between there, you find that so much has been lost that is supposed to be for the ward or for the constituency or the county.
Very, very true. I want to agree with you, Linda, that this conflict of interest, common man, you know, in the long run, the common man wants service.
Yes.
The common man, Wanjik and the woman, that, you know, will not understand that this is money for this and this money for that. So all they see is that the road is done, well and good. But for us, the policymakers and the legislators, I think we put our head ahead.
Yeah.
Because you'll find that there's a road done. This road is actually a county government road. And else want to take pictures and to make sure that this is done in his favor, so that he posts and accounts these are the resources illegally. The government is not aware. And that's why this time in McGorry County, we have told all contractors they have to put a signage on all roads. And it has started in the world, actually, they are putting, so that the common can actually understand this is a county government road, and this county government road is funded, supervised by the director roads at the McGorry County government. So the MP, he has to come and account for his roads and tell the Wananchi that this is what I did, and these are the resources that are there. This accountability has been lacking, and because the common man doesn't fully participate in the public participation to understand that this road is for this one, and then when another department handles that, or when well-wishers handle that, it brings a lot of conflict. It is something that...
You're very close to the people, Mheshimiwa. You're very close to the people. And it is incumbent to you as, you know, it's incumbent upon you as the leaders, or as a leader also, to ensure that your people are well involved in decision-making issues. And this is something that is very common, and you'd even hear it from your very own word that, you know, yes, so much has been done in terms of development, but you have not to understand whether, you know, this is what the people want. These are the interests, these are the things that we need almost immediately. Or in a way, whatever it is that you've done, whether it's of development or not, whether it has affected us negatively in a way. So what are you guys doing towards ensuring that your people are well involved in decisions that are made at the level of the ward, the level of the constituency, and even crossing over to the county?
One, I can say for us as a ward, we've done well participation, and we have evidence in that. When we were elected, that was immediately September 2017, we had the County Integrated Development Plan, the CIDP, which is very key, and it is a 5-year roadmap for the ward and the county. We involve people, and our selection is very simple. We take individuals first from each and every polling station, a population of not less than 20. A polling station. For my ward, I have 17 polling stations times 20. Who are selected by, we also involve the civil society. And I want to thank the civil society that has been participating. It has really done as well. We also involve the church leadership, the administration, all the chiefs that we involve, so that we have them pass the same information in their barazas and to notify people on what is happening at this time. So in each and every situation, the county fiscal strategy paper, we involve the public, and we use the same strategy of reaching out people per sub-location and per polling station. We have also involved them in the annual development plan, which is a yearly plan. Also in the budget making process, but unfortunately the participation was difficult to gather people because of the COVID pandemic. He had to use media. He had to, and the local radio stations were involved to ensure that people are used to get information to what is happening.
Now that you talked about,
Now
that you talked about the pandemic, I think it's good that we come now to, delving step by step into, the developments that you had promised your people and how realistic they were at that particular time and how much you see that you have achieved and how much is left to achieve and how much time would you need. I would want us to start with education, but let's just start back with that aspect of COVID-19. How much have you done towards ensuring that we reduce the spread, knowing very well that you come from McGorry County, which is close to the border of Kenya and Tanzania, and you know what cases have come from there, numerous cases coming from there, still just issues that have cropped up in terms of how this has been dealt with. So, at your own ward and at the constituency at large and the county, what are the leaders doing towards ensuring that help and sensitization amongst the locals towards ensuring that we tame the spread of the virus?
One at my work, and stars that sensitize at the local dialect, and my ward is actually cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
So we've done that sensitization posters. We are doing continuous sensitization through the community health workers. We did the distribution of masks with expensive affair.
Yeah.
We have actually distributed masks and points. And I also thank my other leaders who have also participated on the same, ensuring that there are water pots at almost all trading centers of the world. We've also built access to medical facilities. I have 5 dispensaries in the world, and they have help. So the workers are really, really sensitive, and we are giving them that regular morale to ensure that they don't get disappointed. We've had issues with the workers fearing any corona signs.
Yeah.
So really careful of what's happening, what might happen to them in case they contact. So that morale and motivation, we are doing it. We not go around. Just yesterday, I'm also happy that one of the churches, that part of the Salvation Army Church, supported one of the facilities with the items just in the ward.
Yeah.
And are also having other development partners well, so supporting in sensitization.
And speaking of the facilities, Mheshimiwa, how much of dispensaries or how much of hospitals does your ward host? How many of them?
I have 4 and 1 center. And then my neighboring ward is hosting the district hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much has has been done towards, first of all, ensuring that the medics are well taken care of, are supplied with enough PPEs, and also the people are confident out there in terms of sensitization to go and speak out and get help in the event that they feel like, yes, maybe they have the symptoms of COVID-19, or even they just run out there to grab the mass testing activities that are ongoing across different parts of the country, and even better still, access the medical services for other conditions.
One, for our medics, I can say kudos to our health department. We started off very low, but at the moment we have really picked up. The PPEs are well distributed. We had a spot check on our facilities to ensure that we are okay. And I can say, as we speak, we are at a good percentage in terms of sensitization and the staff's morale towards handling the patients. One, for those extreme conditions that we can say these are obvious death conditions, now that McGorry is now registering rising cases of corona, the workers have been good in terms of making sure that they are protected first and are handling the patients. It's not like before that it was a stigma.
Yeah.
In Awendo, at the time one patient came and the medics had to disappear fast because they didn't know how to handle that case. But right now I can see there's plastic the workers.
Yeah.
They are fully prepared, fully sensitized, and they are fully protected.
And now that we're talking about COVID-19, we know water is a very essential commodity right now in terms of how we are advised that every other time we should ensure that we wash our hands, sanitize, and all that. So water, we all know that is a basic natural commodity and resource. And in your manifesto, you promised that you will ensure that residents of South Kanyamkago get adequate, clean, and safe water for both domestic and commercial use. This has not been felt in totality. Why?
One, we've had challenges. The finance, especially the department. There's a time we really under-budgeted for the water department, and it had a very big strain. This can be on our paper because the allocation was actually made. Yeah. So we could not go sink a lot of borehole. Then from the technical aspect, we also advise that it is not to have so many wells drilled because water resource is so limited. There is that limitation. So what we've done as a board, we've had a lot of spring protection because one, our old mothers have been drawing water in very dirty points.
And speaking of which, the pictures running on our screen, you know that you can clearly tell that something has been done, but it's still, you know, on grounds of the rivers and everything. So a clear indication that, you know, we still do not have piped water, tapped water for that matter.
Yeah, very true. And because of resources, you pumping, and then the stream water does not have a lot of pressure that can accumulate, so that we pump this water into taps. So we had the option of having these water sources or these water points being cemented, being fenced off, so that animals would not share water with the human beings. Yeah. Then secondly, we have to thank Afialisi. Afialisi is an NGO that really partners well with the and there's another NGO that is called Send a Cow that have really helped in making sure that they protect these water springs. This water springs protection has actually given the mothers the time drawing water. Number two, making sure that that water is clean and not contaminated. So any time they come to draw the water, they, instead of using those dirty vibuyus, they just need to tap directly into the containers and back home. It saves time, it saves waterborne diseases. Then at every spring point, we've had the disinfectants, the water purification materials supplied that are continuously, constantly monitored by community health workers who are based in that same village. But
just how hard is it to achieve this, aspect of clean water, water that is that can be used both at home and and commercial purposes, getting tapped water, piped water all the way to the homestays and all that? What is just how hard is it? And when these promises are being made during the time of elections, do you people sit down to look at the intrigues and how difficult or easy this is going to be, so that you promise the people something, then later on you realize that it's more than you can manage? Hence, of course, it becomes like, that was a lie.
Linda, politics go together with the political statements. Yeah. And I want to, sometimes politicians, I want to own this as part of the political team, that some of our political statements mostly lack the technical advice. Yeah. And that has really costed us, because when we say we'll do this, like my ward, I did some boreholes, at least 2 boreholes per financial year. But when the surveyors, geological surveyors who are experts in the same field, they end up advising that this well, when it's done here, the next one should be like 10 kilometers away, because we want to have constant and consistent water supply in this one. If you sink another one 2 or 3 kilometers away, as much as you will be reaching out to the same population that you want to satisfy, this water resource will not be reliable. So in the long run, we have to hit our state, and it is something that I think before we go to campaigns and issues, it is that politicians get the technical advice in everything that we do, so that we don't make political statements that appear to be lie. As much as we are willing to do it, we also find governments trained us. Then in the long run, little resources that are there are not able to achieve. But on piped water, we can't say it is possible. Running water from the rivers can be harvested in tanks. In harvested into tanks, it can be channeled to the taps. It is not hard. But the purification process and the cost involved is the major factor here also. But it is possible. But for the 6 months, and thank God for regular and continuous rains, it has helped actually curb the water needs that are needed during this corona period.
And you speak of lots of partnerships, Mheshimiwa, with stakeholders that come on board to try and bring this developmental projects in your very own special ward or specific ward. And one would ask, why is it that it's so different with you? Why is it that you seem to attract so many of them? And should your ward members be worried, or should the citizens of your ward be worried? Because we've seen leaders who've done that, who've partnered, who've welcomed investors coming on board, but the end result is like they sell the social contracts, and the people are left with nothing. The people are left to grapple. The people are left at the mercy of these investors that are coming on board. So just how confident can the people of your ward be that, Mheshimiwa, you're not selling us, or our leader is not selling us, but it is simply working towards getting the benefits for us?
One, it is important to read each term, like agreement.
Yeah.
As a leader, should be blindly rushing into partnership. Number two, one thing that I noticed about the partnership is that the partnerships that you have to look at, dig into their history, because what are they after for the people? But the few that we've, the many that we have checked, and the few that we have picked for partnership, and their history in other areas is very consistent and very okay. But there's one that I met who was interested in agriculture, but to discover later, the agricultural part that he wanted to invest into was more interested in land, because he wanted to buy 1 acre from every farmer, then invest. Then in the long run, we discovered that the issue was about land. It wasn't about the production of
agriculture.
Of the, he had a lot of interest, and we became worried, and we actually stopped any engagement with him. So it's important also to be sure most of the partners that we've talked to are internationally known. The history is actually very well on the website. You can see consistency in other countries. You can see the consistency.
All right.
The consistency there.
Okay. Well, that is pretty much good. And on that very note, Mheshimiwa, allow me to take a short break, and we'll be delving deeper into understanding. Now that you mentioned something to do with agriculture, we get to know in terms of economic activities, how do we get to know whether indeed the people of South Kanyamkago are able to realize this and to generate revenue at that level in terms of the economic activities that are there, even as we take a look at the changes that they have witnessed or not witnessed in terms of the promises, the roads. We've said that they have done, so much has been done. We take a look at the education sector. We take a look at how much is there for the youth, especially at this time we're talking about Kazi Mtaani, and how much is there for the women and the men too in general. After this break, we are right back. And welcome back to Pledge Watch. South Kanyamkago Member of County Assembly, Mheshimiwa Graham Kagali, is the one we have this evening as we expound some more on what it is that he's done for his people. We've captured so much so far, and so much feedback coming our way in terms of the questions, in terms of commendation on what Mheshimiwa has done so far, and in terms of challenges in regards again to what he's supposed to achieve just yet. And when we left for a break, we left it at that point where we're talking about the economic activities of South Kanyamkago, McGorry County at large, and we know very well that, there's so much in terms of economic activities that is conducted there. Speaking of agriculture, which you had touched on, Mheshimiwa, what is it that you're doing towards ensuring that, yes, these economic activities are felt, are done accordingly, in regards to what is there? Mining has been an issue, I know, across, because miners used to complain that maybe there's frustration coming from the county government. Also, the aspect of agriculture has been an issue because of the issues of, how tough times and water is not so much available, especially those ones from the rivers and all that. And fishing, again, has been an issue. So which amongst the three that I have touched are key economic activities in South Kanyamkago, and what are you doing to advance this?
Number one, we are lucky that South Kanyamkago is heavily...
Yeah.
We are lucky that we have constant and consistent supply of water through the rivers. And as we speak, we are doing, for those farmers who are close to the rivers, we are doing a lot of the water pumps for irrigation, so that they that consistent supply of groceries. Yeah. We have partnered in terms of other economic empowerment project that we even distributed chicks just a few days ago. We've empowered groups through poultry production, and we've done so well. And I'm so happy in the course of this week, we've partnered with the HEIFA International, and the HEIFA International is actually now supporting us through workers. They are actually also employing workers to support the program of the chicken. So we are empowering, and we are also lucky among the 40 wards in McGorry County. World Bank chose on South Kanyamkago among the 20. We have 40 wards, but 20 benefited from a program called NARIP that is also running. It is empowering farmers in terms of poultry, dairy, beekeeping, and fisheries. We are doing ponds, free fish ponds along the rivers, and the World Bank has really, in collaboration with the county government, has really done a lot in terms of making sure that these groups are managed and empowering these groups. In my manifesto program of empowering women on mboga kienyeji, we have been wasting a lot in terms of the little resources we get. We rush to mama bogas. Even those poor families have no bogas.
It's a bit of a tweak there. Let's try and get a hold of Mheshimiwa again as we do this. Yes. Yes, still taking a look at the developments, track records in South Kanyamkago. There's a bit of a tweak right there. We still hope that, of course, we can get Mheshimiwa on hold, aboard again. As always, we say sometimes with technology, we are left with no choice but to keep waiting and keep trying, especially right now that we're talking about, an award that is way far away. That is McGorry County. Remember the other time we had the governor of McGorry County here on Pledge Watch. It was a bit of a twist again, because again it was at that point where COVID-19 had just set foot in the country, and again we were doing it on Skype and doing it on phone. The clarity on matters network was an issue, but then again just pinpointing some of the key things that he has achieved and some of the key things that he seeks to achieve. Now just addressing the aspect of how much there is women empowerment at South Kanyamkago, and I know the programs that have been set on board, especially on matters agriculture. Speaking about mboga ya kienyeji, yes, we are yet to understand some more on what exactly this is it. And Honorable Graham Kagali is back. So, Mheshimiwa, yes, you were telling us about the program of Mboga Kienyeji for the women, which would have informed my next question on how much empowerment for women is happening at your ward.
Yeah, we have supports agriculture and inputs, and agricultural inputs, and technical knowledge on agriculture to farmers.
Mm-hmm.
We are lucky as a whole that we've been successful to get them.
Mm-hmm.
Partners and work with us with our mamas, and we've been supplying seeds to the farmers, and we give them technical know-how so that at least every homestead, our vision is that every homestead, if 60% of the homesteads avoid the issue of buying for the instead, we need to get excess sold in the markets.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get as far as Kericho coming into McGorry County and as far as Kisii.
Mm-hmm.
So some of those want to put the women in the world take advantage of that gap that is existing.
All right, and let's talk about the youth briefly, because I know there's so much that we can talk about the women. Sometimes the old men or the men keep asking, why is it that the focus is always on the women and the youths? Where do they tend to forget us? You'll tell us where you have placed your men and what you have in store for them. But importantly, the youths. And the Kanyamkago is here. There have been lots of complaints in terms of, what is coming out and the chances that the youths are able to get. What other programs do you have for the youths, and what criteria have you used towards ensuring that your youths equally benefit from Kanyamkago?
Number one, Kanyamkago is very good initiative, but I want to say there's a lot of things. And in terms of selection of the youths, and we are with this with the MP,
yeah.
We've not been able to fully satisfy the population. In Uriri, we're having 3 areas that have been marked. That is Kiri Center, Rapogi, and a place called Yanibasa. So far, the Kanyamkago is not very satisfactory.
Yeah. Okay.
It has not handled the need that we expected.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, for the youth programs, one, we've registered so many youths are actually a very big population. You don't have the direction that is required. So what we've been putting the groups, and so far so many groups have benefited from free training.
Mm-hmm.
Had trainers on empowerment, and I want to thank the partners also, say the social department, social services department based at Uriri.
Mm-hmm.
The team has really been of help into the youth and empowering them. But one, youth groups are actually in Abasas. Secondly, we've given them projects. My long-term manifesto program for the youth one was that sure we have a water income for them,
mm-hmm.
animal feed processing, because we discovered that as a whole, most of the items that we buy, like we buy water daily, and the South Kanyamkago is actually the water supplier to McGorry County, because the Chinese did the water contract in my ward.
Okay.
So we say youths now benefit by having water at source, then they make that money.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, because we had a lot of venture into water, the farmers who are benefiting from the right, they require the feed, the cocoa feed.
Yeah.
And this cocoa feed is bought either feeds or supplier. So why can't we bring that gap? Because we discovered the formula consists of omen, which is here in McGorry County, and you don't need to ship that omen and other feeds, other counties. The food is made and brought back to us.
Mm.
So once these ones are realized and served, we can have the youth getting engaged more from what they have.
Mm-hmm.
We are also lucky that there's a program that QF is charged with the Gender Opportunity Program. It's a world program. And McGorry County was a beneficiary. In the last 3 weeks, if you take on your data, we have South Kanyamkago dropping consistently the number of youths taken. The first time they took 100, benefited from 70 something. Hard training. The second one, the second allocation is big, allocation of 300 or something more, and are being trained. They are given stipends for employment. Start the businesses in that respective field of training.
The old men would ask, what is there for them?
Naturally, old men, wanasema, if you feed the lady and if you take care of the mothers and youth, old man is safe. So, but wazee program yao tutapata tu.
Well, they are listening to you.
I know.
Okay,
but I can say that actually that there has been
All right, that's interesting. Okay. So a bit of McGorry politics and how far? I remember sometimes in January there are talks on you know, that the appointments that are normally done and you know the service that is normally given at the level of the county at large, you know, and you and your counterparts, the likes of Makalda, Makalda Kanyarwanda's, George Duro, and you know. A couple of others, you were ejected in the House at some point in time for rejecting new elections and saying that it is illegal because of existing court orders that listed or were crafted privately. How are you so far in terms of keeping the House in order and also working in tandem with the governor towards ensuring that the people are able to feel development?
Number one, I want to say that the three roles of any MCA, that is representation, legislation, and oversight, are very key for very key for devolution.
Yes.
And oversight does not mean you fight the oversight is that sources are used well. And you were ejected from the assembly, although it is a matter before I'll just briefly say. We went there on purpose to handle public service nominees. Actually, it's requirement by any special city, because that was a special city. So when we found out that other things are seen in assembly, we said, no, this is the right way to handle issues. And I think that's how we were ceremoniously thrown. But oversight does not mean in the government. Oversight means that the executive is doing the right thing, and we are happy as assembly and move done right way. It's important to raise that alarm. The Constitution is very clear. Chapter 1, Article 1, it gives power to the people, or it can be exercised directly by those who are elected. The sovereign power belongs to the people. So, it is important that respect that article. We have the people at heart, and it's something that I request all and sundry, those elected as MCA, that oversight is not about being grabbed, being the leadership executive.
And one would argue that the MCAs have mistaken this a role of oversight, as you know, that role for, you know, a ground for drama. And I think you've seen what has happened across different counties, you know, in the country. And you talked about orientation. The argument again is that, you know, members of county assembly, especially the first time as they come there, they spend years to orientate themselves, to understand how governance works, to understand the governance of the county, to understand devolution, and then from there, upon understanding, now they get on ground, and you know, there's so much drama and witch hunt against the governors and all that, so that the people are not able to feel the need or the importance of us as to why they proceeded to elect some of these members of county assembly. And that's the reason some of them actually, first phase were phased off and others came on board. So what can we do to ensure that we get MCAs that understand their role even before they get into office? They understand what it is that the people expect from them even before they get in there.
Number one, I think it's important that this role, the MCA's role, it touches the education. That is point number one. There has to be limits. We cannot just say that you have, and then get into the office, you don't get. The legislative part of any assembly requires that sharp place. These are places that come from executive, and if they're not well sieved and articulated, you end up having very poor legislation, or you end up being untwisted. One, I agree that it is important that education is targeted. Secondly, equity. It's important that we as Kenyans start choosing leaders on integrity, or with a lot of integrity. The Chapter 6 of the Constitution was not wrongly drafted. It is not a mistake. It's important that we have right people based on their human nature. So the issues that are bringing issues in the county assembly. We have colleagues who are in the assembly, one with their self-interest. So you have that, and the assembly is not running well. It is definite. The self-interest is going to supersede the Mwananchi need. So it's my honest opinion that it is important that a lot of intent is checked or something is clear, right from the party levels of the way the IEBs. Yeah.
Okay, well, and before we get to Gore, the rights of the girls, the rights of the boy child, the rights of the children down there being infringed upon for the longest of time in these communities, the crossbreeding, the cross, of course, marriages that we've witnessed, Kenya and Tanzania and all that. We're still grappling with issues to do with, the cat, which is something that has been condemned highly. And even the people who are advocating for, the stop of the cat are out here complaining that there's not so much support coming from the local governments. So what are you guys doing? What are you doing in particular at your level of the county to reduce this, to ensure that the girl child is able to enjoy the rights, go to school, the boy child is also able to get their needs uplifted and looked into, and just ape away the barbaric cultures that once existed?
Number one, I want to appreciate parents because there's a lot of sensitization on cultural education. You go to let me use my ward as an example. The ratio of girl and boy population is almost now 50-50, meaning there's a big shift from parents willing to girls to school and their boys. That's a very impressive mark because previously it was 8-20 girls and 8% for boys. Secondly, McGorry County hosts the Korea which has been largely participated in the cards, the FPM. To thank my colleagues from the team have been ahead of us. They've been championing this, they've talked about this in past. They've been actually analyzing the previous data and sensitizing that it is important now that we let the girl enjoy her freedom of going to school, and we skip those cultural practices. Unfortunately, sometimes we have to admit there's been a lot of rigidity because of that sticking to card. Some of the girls feel that if they throw the card, they get that recognition in the community. So it is something that is slowly fading away. It is a little resistant, but I can say there's a lot of improvement in terms of making sure that the girls go to school. Secondly, I want to also thank our administration leaders, the chiefs, assistants. There's been a lot of now sensitization and openness. We've had civil societies also coming up openly, and it has now there's a lot of sensitization in Migori on the ill practices and the unfairness on the girl child. So there's a lot of improvement, although a lot still needs to be done.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Graham Kagali, South Kanyamkago Ward. In a minute or less, I'll allow you to speak to your people, tell them what it is that you've not done and what you intend to do towards ensuring that you achieve this. 2022 is just about the corner. Why should they have you back? Or if not so, what is it that you're going home with and saying that, you know what, I have worked for my people and I have achieved this?
Thank you very much. I mean, it's always try. One major activity to do empowerment and children, women and youth. The program is still on, and I'll give up of the other parties. There's 2020 that we're facing. The programs, the women are still on, and we shall roll on. To the biggest one that wanted out, my was to have an independent ambulance for those emergency cases, added to each area. But I can say, because of the shift, we are doing 2 dispensaries to help those in the areas, says that critical safety there. It's something still, and it is something that I know it is achievable. We should have an ambulance that we can say can rescue, make referrals directly. We've talked to nationals here and done proposals, and I think the dream will be realized. And also to request the residents to be patient. We are still working on opening of the roads and make sure that we are getting to our homes any trouble. It has been a challenge here and there because of resources, but I am positive we shall end up having roads done, having education sector, the ECT rooms done, every school, the ECT centers, and equipping these ECDs. So I am certain that things will turn to the positive side, despite the challenges. Things will work for us.
All right, thank you so much. The network has not been so friendly on us, but all the same, we've sailed through. That is to mean that post-COVID-19 will come back to you just to see to it whether indeed the promises that you've made have been achieved so far, and whether indeed all that warrants you to get another round or not. Remember, this is Pledge What. It's all about putting Mheshimiwa to task in regards to the promises they have made. Whom do you want us to have next? Of course, you can write to us. Hashtag Pledge Watch will be sampling that, and we try all our best, or our level best, to get a hold of your Mheshimiwa so that you can ask all these candid questions as you get answers. The only show that guarantees you accountability of what is there for your county, what is there for your ward, what is there for your constituency, what is there for your country. Thank you so much for always keeping me company. It is right about that we say Kwaheri. Thank you so much. I get to see you again next week, same time, same place. My name is Linda Alela. Once again, I was doing this with Honorable Graham Kagali of South Kanyamkago Ward, all the way in McGorry County. See you again next week. Bye-bye.